Hello dear students, good morning to all. We have seen the Indus Valley Civilization in the previous classes. We have learned about its features and social life, religious life, etc. And today we are going to the next chapter, the first chapter, B part. And this is also River Valley Civilizations, and it is the second part of the River Valley Civilization. And in this class we will be discussing three civilizations. First of all, the Mesopotamian civilization, secondly Egyptian civilization, and finally the Huang Ho civilization, that is a Chinese civilization. So all these three civilizations will be dealt in this class. And let us begin with the first civilization, that is Mesopotamian civilization. And it is also called as Mesopotamia is the modern Iraq. Modern Iraq is called Mesopotamia. And here a great civilization arose in about 5000 BC. So it started in around 5000 BC. And Mesopotamia is the word, it's a Greek word, and its meaning is that land between two rivers. So the word Mesopotamia is coming from a Greek word, and its meaning is that land between the two rivers. And which are the rivers? Euphrates and Tigris. You can see in page number 28, there is a map on the right side corner of the page, and you can see the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. And the place between these two rivers are called Mesopotamia. So when we look at the map, West Asia, a map of West Asia, we find two great rivers, the Euphrates and Tigris, flowing through the region. Mesopotamia is the land between the rivers Euphrates and Tigris. So remember once again, we are talking about Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamia is the modern Iraq, and it started in 5000 BC. And the word Mesopotamia is coming from a Greek word, and it means which means land between two rivers, and the two rivers are Euphrates and Tigris. So the land between these two rivers are called Mesopotamia. Before 150 years back, archaeologists discovered the ruins of some ancient towns and cities, and they collected thousands of clay tablets. Clay tablets means something like a tablet, looks like a square shaped. It's a flat surface made up of clay, and on that clay different words or something or cut or something is written over there. So these archaeologists found many thousands of clay tablets, and there was one archaeologist. His name was Henry Rawlinson. And he was able to interpret all those writings, all those inscriptions which is written on that clay tablets. So as he was able to interpret, the world understood the story of Mesopotamia. So he was able to decipher, it is called decipher. He was able to interpret those inscriptions, and in that way the secrets of ancient civilization of Mesopotamia became known to the world. The world understood the story of Mesopotamia from these thousands of clay tablets. So how do we came to know about the Mesopotamian civilization or the story of Mesopotamia? With the help of the clay tablets that we found, or that the archaeologists found from the sites of Mesopotamian civilization or Mesopotamia. So these clay tablets are very important to know the story of Mesopotamia. And the span of this civilization was from 5000 BC to 500 BC. That means around 4500 years this civilization existed. So that is the introduction for the Mesopotamian civilization. Once again, we have said about the Mesopotamia is the modern Iraq. The word meaning is land between two rivers. And which are the two rivers? Euphrates and Tigris. And archaeologists found 1,000 number of clay tablets where inscriptions were there. And there was one archaeologist called Henry, and he was able to interpret those inscriptions on the clay tablets. And with the help of those clay tablets, we came to know the story of Mesopotamia. The time period of Mesopotamian civilization was between 5000 BC to 500 BC. That means around 4500 years. Now, let us look at more about the civilization. And there was one place called Sumer region. Sumer region was the heart of Mesopotamia. The heart of the Mesopotamia was the Sumer region. And the people living in Sumer region were called the Sumerians. Sumerians. You might have seen some of the films. You may be familiar with this word Sumerians in some of the films. So, the people, those who lived in Sumer region were called Sumerians. They were the first to develop an advanced civilization in Mesopotamia, and this is also called the Sumerian civilization. So, as we have studied, Indus Valley civilization had another name which is called Harappan culture or Harappan civilization. Likewise, the heart of Mesopotamia was Sumer region and the Sumerians. That's why Mesopotamian civilization is also known as Sumerian civilization. Sumerian civilization. So now when we go to the main important part of the Mesopotamian civilization, the first thing is the religious dominance. Religion was the most important part of Mesopotamian civilization because religion dominated the Mesopotamian civilization. So that's why there was a state authority as well as the religious authority. So the people of Mesopotamia obeyed the state authority as well as the religious authority. Maybe they might have given importance to both religious authorities and state authorities equal respect. When we look at our country, we can see that in India, we are giving more importance to state authorities or the government. Thereafter only the religion comes. India is not a religious based country. But the Mesopotamian civilization was based on a religion, and they were given equal importance to the religious authority as well as the state authority. And every city or each city or state had their own god. They had their own god. For example, like here we have Delhi, then Uttar Pradesh, then Madhya Pradesh. So each city or each state had their own god. But here we don't have such system. But in Mesopotamia, they had their own god for each city and each state. So the tradition of worshipping many gods continued even during the times of emperors in Mesopotamia. So they believed in many gods. They worshipped different gods. So the chief gods worshipped were Enlil, Marduk, Asur, Ishtar, etc. There were many gods, and they believed in different gods. The Sumerians had built many temples of gods, and these temples were called ziggurats. Ziggurats is Iggurats. So the Sumerians were the most important or the high class people, those who lived in the Sumerian region, and they built a number of temples for the gods, and those temples were known as ziggurats. And all these temples were decorated with statues of many other gods, and all the temples were made of burnt bricks. Colored tiles and marble slabs were used to beautify them. These were very high, almost reaching the skies. You can see one picture on the on page number 29 on the right upside corner, and there you can see the temple, the picture of a temple, which is very massive and it is very big. So they have used the burnt bricks to build these temples, and they have used marble slabs and tiles to decorate or to beautify them. And those temples were very high. They were almost reaching the skies. They have not only created the gods, or they have not only worshipped in gods, but they have believed in they have worshipped on the nature forces, or the forces of nature, such as the sun, moon, rain, stars, they have believed and worshipped those also. They placed the statue of the sun god at the highest pedestal and on the top story. But these temples not just mere for worshipping only. They have many other purposes also. Especially they used this place, or these temples were considered as the center of education. So they were also used as an observatory by the astrologers to study the planets and the stars. So the people used these temples to study the planets and the stars. And even it is a place for the trade and commerce. So we cannot say that the temples were used only for worshipping, because it is considered as the center for education. They have studied about the planets and stars, the astrologers. And secondly, they have used this place for trade and commerce. And those are the main thing. And when we come to the religious life of people, we will know that they believed in the life after death. We have seen that in Indus Valley Civilization also, the people believed in the life after death. So what they did, after the death of a person, they kept the belongings, the eatables, food and the ornaments, etc. with the dead body in the tomb. So likewise here also in Mesopotamia also, they believed in the life after death. So what they have did, after the death, they placed eatables and articles of use along with the dead body in the tombs. So they also placed the ornaments, the plates and the necessary items, as well as the eatables along with this dead body in that tomb. So dear students, this is an introduction for the Mesopotamian civilization. We have seen that it's a civilization which flourished between the rivers of Euphrates and the Tigris. And they believed in religion. They have given more importance to the religion. And they worshipped many gods. And the Sumerians, the most important people, Sumerians created different or built many temples which were decorated with the colored tiles and marbles. And they were also very high, they were also very tall. And they worshipped force of nature also. They worshipped sun, they worshipped stars, they worshipped rain, moon, etc. And these temples were not only for worshipping, and it was a place for education. And they constantly studied about planets and stars. And it was a place for trade and commerce.